I think there's more to come here. I don't think it's going to be tragic. I simply look at, look, step back a few weeks. We had a flow-driven market every day. The stock market was just inching up ever higher. Huge valuation expansion. Technically, I would argue that when you have that, the big flow-driven rally, technicals matter a lot. And if you just simply look at, I like to focus on the tech sector because that was clearly had the biggest valuation expansion, the biggest and the greatest outperformance. Just to get back to sort of the middle of the channel that had been established over the last 3 years, that easily suggests another 10 to 15% there.
But why now? You look at a chart of the S&P or the Dow. It's been like a 30-degree up angle pretty much consistently for as far back as we can see at this point here. There were numerous times people could have taken profits. Why now?
I think, it's one of those great unknowable questions because you go back through history, you always have these market sell-offs. Sometimes the market just needs an excuse to sell. We have a pretty good excuse right now with the coronavirus, dominating the headlines here. No one really understands what the real impact on longer-term earnings is, whether it means, there's anything structurally changed here. Probably doesn't. But certainly, it's a great excuse to sell, and there are a lot of earnings revisions downward and so forth. Whether that reverses itself at some point in the next 6 months or not. When you have when any of growth is effectively coming back online because of deferment, because people are now back buying things and supply chains are back up. That's the probable case here. But right now, you have to step back and say, what would the market do if Corona had never hit? Right. And I had been expecting that some good old fashioned consolidation would be in order. I want to point out that I'm very constructive on the broader stock market. I think one of the highest price targets for the S&P 500, 3650 for a year end. I'm still sticking by that. This is an inevitable part of a market rally. We had a huge rally coming.
Well, speaking of this, I just want to show, because what we're showing right now is the intraday of Dow futures. It was a 641-point swing just so far today in Dow futures. Is this volatility here to stay for a while?
I think so, yeah. And if you look at the VIX curve, you look at where the VIX has been, the VIX spot level has been trading at. Yeah, it's good to suggest that this is not over. And volatility works both ways, of course, right? You could have, as you just said, you could have 600-point moves up or down there, and that's to be expected as people are sort of trying to process these headlines and what this all really means here. But again, I think it's very helpful to look at what are the technical indicators saying, where is, support levels on the key indices. And I just don't think we're there yet.
We just got a handful of seconds left here. What's your best idea heading into this day of volatility?
I would say if we get a bounce, we Mel White, I can't speak, sell into that, use it as opportunities to buy puts on major indices.